Hey, it's Tim Miller with the Bulwark. Axios is out with a report about what a Trump cabinet would look like, and it is dystopian and preposterous, and we need to break it down for you. All right, so here it is. Axios describes this as a loyalty-first cabinet. There's some suggestions here that are scary, that there's some suggestions in here that are mockable, and then there's some suggestions in here that just make you want to wonder how this is real life and how is this the world that we're living in. So let's just go through a couple of them. Chief of Staff, they're looking at Steve Bannon. I've done a bunch of videos about that. I'm sure you've seen my interview with Steve Bannon. If you haven't, go and check it out here on the feed.
Maybe the guy's a jerk, but he's a badass and the world fears him. And so
He's a badass? All he does is complain about people.
A whiny, vengeful, backward-looking billionaire.
No, it's
that is just not like
forward-looking.
Right, that's forward-looking.
We're going to take on the administrative state that's driven this country into the ground.
He's not talking about taking on the administrative state to help people's lives. He's talking about going after the people that were mean to him. Deeply alarming anti-rule of law, authoritarian plans that they have in place. For Attorney General, there's a suggestion of Mike Davis, another guy that we've talked about here, who put forth that 5-point plan for a gulag and said that he was going to put me in the women's jail.
And I would say to old Tim that I am going to put him in the DC gulag, but not to worry, I'll put him in the women's cell blocks.
I think he thought that was an insult being in the women's prison, but if there's going to be a gulag, I guess I'd rather be in the women's one. Stephen Miller is another Attorney General guest. Stephen was last seen on X saying that Taylor Swift is a deep state plot, so I'm glad that we have somebody so attached to reality and so hateful of immigrants being floated here to run the entire Department of Justice. That's definitely alarming. What else? We have Rick Grinnell, who was obviously a Stop the Stealer and has been a loyal Donald Trump advisor, potentially for a national security position. Here's a funny one. Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon, who just this week said that he thinks the Democrats should work together to support Nikki Haley because he thinks Donald Trump is such a threat. Donald Trump wants him in the cabinet. Do you know why? Because Donald Trump loves billionaires, including to the source that Axios talked to. He wants a big name. So, it's kind of like Celebrity Apprentice. The cabinet will be a mix of loyalists, Nazis, and a few B-list, C-list, D-list celebrities so Trump can feel like he's rubbing elbows with the rich and famous. He also thinks Kushner will be back. He suggests Tom Cotton, potentially, for a national security position. Here's another one that I think is worth flagging. Jeffrey Clark, formerly the Assistant Attorney General, currently indicted in Georgia. Jeff Clark was the one that was plotting the Insurrection Act. He was a little-known environmental lawyer before this, and because he was the one at DOJ telling Trump what he wanted to hear, he quickly moved up the ranks at DOJ. He's been charged in the Georgia racketeering case, and he's another person that they'd be looking at for the administration. It is really the rogues gallery, and I think that the fact that Axios, which does have sources in Trump world, is throwing out these names, this is not kind of left-wing resistance catastrophizing, right? I think it's easy sometimes to look at that and say, come on, there's no way. There's no way that Stephen Miller would be the head of the Department of Justice. Well, it's not just us at the Bulwark. It's not just us with TDS. It's not just MSNBC. It is Axios, straight news reporting, people with sources in Trump world that are saying that. And so it's pretty alarming. It's something that we're keeping our eye on, and we'll be back. Keep on coming back to our YouTube page. Make sure to subscribe. Go over to thebulwark.com. Subscribe to our emails. Get our podcasts. We appreciate you. And God willing, with your help and our coverage, we don't have to live through a Stephen Miller, Jeff Clark, Steve Bannon, Tucker Carlson, Donald Trump cabinet. Peace. Hey, if you like this video and our content, I'd love for you to become a Bulwark Plus member. You get bonus podcasts, you get bonus newsletters, you get bonus takes from me that maybe don't come up on the YouTube feed. You can try it out for free at thebulwark.com/free trial. The link is below in the description. We'd love to have you as a member of our community. We have great commenters and great opportunities for people who want to protect democracy.